The existence of sexism and racism in 2023 is rather shocking. Shocking in the sense that we now live in a global village with so many different cultures, races, religions coming together, probably through social media and through the internet. You can't really be on an internet platform or social media platform without coming across another culture or coming across another race or coming across another gender. It's impossible. You're on TikTok, scroll down, you see different cultures, you see different sexes all coming up on your scroll. So you now wonder that if in 2023, with the world so shrunken, so small via the internet, that racism can still exist, that sexism can still exist, then it just shows you that, look, this thing is more than what it is. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness because people are holding on to views that are not real. Holding on to views that are not real, they're not scientific. They hold on to them. They teach their children these views that are not real. So it just goes to show you basically that man or a lot of people can't rise above their emotions or can't rise above what they've been taught, erroneously taught, in the sense that there's so many women doing fantastic things around the world. There's so many women on the streets. I can leave my gate and the next 50 women I see will be better than me in one aspect or the other. And that's normal because basically I'm not God and nobody has it all. And there's nobody who is a failure. Everybody has their good points, everybody has their bad points. So it's strange when people lump is sex, like women, you lump women or women lump men and say all men are bad, or women or men lump women together and say all women are bad. It's impossible because even in the same family, same mother, same father, you have siblings that are basically different in behavior and different in outlook, social outlook, mental outlook. So if people are different even in the same family, behavioral differences are so pronounced in families. Of course, it begs to say that individual differences in cultures, in races, will be different because they're so different in one family of three children. The three children don't think alike. So how would a race of like 2.5 million people, 25 million people, 100 million people, how can they be all different? Yes, they would have some certain peculiarities. They could have some certain peculiarities, so that those are cultural peculiarities, but thinking they all behave the same way, that doesn't make sense, and that's basically impossible. So one of the reasons why things like sexism still exists because men basically teach their sons to be sexist. Like, look at this, how women behave. Don't mind them. This is how they are. This is how they are. How many women has the average man encountered to say this is how women are? I think women are basically fantastic because you see on the road everywhere, women moving on with their lives, doing their thing, women working jobs, putting food on the table for their families, women pushing their careers at the same time raising children. That is truly fantastic. I think the average woman is fantastic. Women are inherently fantastic. I particularly think women are wonderful, because I think women are fantastic. I like women a lot, and you see a woman on the road and you just think, look, this one is fantastic. Because God made women fantastic. God made human beings good. So when you now have something like racism, you have like the Vicinius Junior problem, racial problem in Spain, where there's a player called Vinicius Junior, and he's encountering so much racism. You wonder how can that happen in a so-called enveloped environment like Spain. We have to question. I don't think really it's a UEFA problem. It just shows you the mindset of the club owners Because basically, we can't really tell where the next Cristiano Ronaldo is going or the next Pele is going to come from. We don't know. We don't know from which race that person is going to come from. So if I was a club owner looking for the best, I'll make sure my club fans do not poison the atmosphere, because I don't know the race of the next person who is going to bring our club to glory. So I would caution the club, I would caution and penalize fans not to poison the atmosphere so that we can get the players we want to get. So no player says, "Oh, that's a racist club. I can't go there." They did that to someone of my race. I can't go there. So why aren't club owners thinking like that? So I think it's just a general foresight of human nature. We're not that foresighted to be able to see some certain things. And why aren't people foresighted? Because they don't really see the end. The end is progress. And when you now begin to think of progress, the need to be racial or sexist drops, because you're ready to bring in anybody aboard as long as you can bring progress. You're looking for progress. So regardless of how the person is, you want progress. There's so many people of different races doing fantastically. The Chinese are doing fantastic. Huawei is doing fantastic. So why would anybody look down on Huawei phones when they're basically the best phones? So I personally think everybody has to just be honest in terms of race and sexuality, in the sense of, if someone is better than you at something, it is madness not to see how somebody is better than you at, and not to celebrate that person from being better than you. How can you be great if you don't see the greatness in others? Because man is an emulation being. We emulate what we see. So if you can't see the greatness in people, that means you're not going to be great. And people come in different shades, people come in different sizes, they come in different sexes. So if you can't see people's greatness, then your life is going to be truncated. So I particularly think that, look, racism, sexism, those are mental illnesses, because the world is compressed. Men and women are together. You can't be anywhere in the world without seeing a woman. Women are everywhere. How can you say women are bad, women are this? Everybody is bad. There's no perfect human being. But to label a sex, or you're a woman and you've had a breakup with a man, you now start labeling men bad. All men are bad. How many men do you know? You just had a breakup with one man. You have some men who go through breakups with one woman, and they turn their whole lives into vendettas, whole breaking women's hearts. That's madness. Did those women break your heart? Only one woman broke your heart, and for God's sake, there's no point taking out revenge on any woman. Just move on. Life would be the judge. What goes around comes around. If you offer someone love and that person refuses your love, where is that means that person is not going to only refuse you. That person doesn't want love from anybody. And if you don't want love from anybody, you're going to be crushed. So it's just how it is. There's no point being a man and hurting women. It's madness. It's immaturity. One man hurt you, you now start hurting other women. That's foolishness. I won't even say don't even look for that woman who hurts you. There's no point looking for her. What you can do is be on social media and download all her pictures. There's no point trying to cause her harm. So back to racism. So you just wonder, when is racism going to stop? I think for racism to stop, it has to be taught in schools. It has to be taught what racism is, why people are racist, how parents teach their children to hold racist views. Sometimes it is good to tell your children, look, beware of how people behave. But it's also good to tell your children that, look, not everybody might behave that way. It's always good to have some guards and rails in your children, so your children just don't get careless with people of any race and any culture. You tell your children people are good and bad, open your eyes, but you don't just label a race because someone cheated in a business deal, people from a certain race are bad. It doesn't quite work that way. The existence of sexism and racism in 2023 is rather shocking. Shocking in the sense that we now live in a global village with so many